So what are natural treatments for diabetes? Well, there are a lot of them. And instead of just listing them all off here and having you go and try them, I thought I would expand a little bit on the concepts from the last video, can you cure diabetes? And go into a little more detail so you can look at how these treatments fit into this broader concept of improving cellular function. And we'll look at the role of toxins, the role of digestion, the role of inflammation, diet, herbs, and home blood glucose monitoring, and look at how all that fits together and how you can use those to improve your blood sugar control. We're all about helping you gain a deeper understanding of your health and what's going on with your body. Hopefully this video gets you a little bit closer towards that aim. I also wanted to point out that sometimes when I'm producing this content, I get a statistic wrong or the name of something wrong, and almost always there's a corresponding blog article on our website, swintegratedmedicine.com/blog. You can find it there. Those oftentimes go into a little bit more detail than the videos do as well. So please check that out if you're interested. And it does take considerable effort to produce this content. So if you're liking the information, please click on the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you do have questions about any of the content, please ask it in the comment section here or on the blog. That's why I'm producing the information, for you to gain that deeper understanding. So ask the questions if you have them. Hope you enjoy the video. Thank you for watching. Let's get into it. Now, if you watched the last video, you should understand, at least in part, how you can cure your diabetes, in a general sense at least. In that last video, we discussed this idea of improving cellular function, and in this video, we want to discuss that in a little further detail, the idea of improving cellular function and how that fits into improving blood sugar control and treatment for diabetes. So, so toxins are all around us. They're in the air, they're in the food that we eat, they're in our homes, they're in the water we drink sometimes, they're in our workplace, they're all around us. And as a result of that, our livers can and do get altered function as a result of those toxins. Now, not everybody's going to have this problem, but depending on your burden for toxins, if you have a lot, or some people are more genetically susceptible to these toxins, specific toxins, then you may have more of a problem there. But our livers do have to deal with these toxins. As a result, it can alter the efficiency of your liver to process glucose. Now, your liver acts as a reserve for a lot of the stored glucose in your body, and that stored glucose is called glycogen. If your liver is inflamed or there's lots of toxins, it may not be able to store that, may have limited ability to store those carbohydrates, leading to higher blood sugar levels. So that's one scenario. In addition, muscles, all the tissues in our body really, but muscles specifically, the metabolism of those muscles can get altered, deranged from increased toxins as well. And the muscles are specifically where a lot of the carbohydrates and glucose are processed as well. So that can also lead to a backing up of the blood sugar into your bloodstream. When the pancreas perceives this, it's going to increase your insulin, and that increased insulin is going to drive more of that glucose into not only the muscles but also the liver. And this is known as insulin resistance. So the muscles and the liver, not taking up that glucose leads to higher insulin levels, and as a result, your body produces more insulin, and that higher insulin causes your body to grow. You get more fat because insulin is a anabolic hormone, and it will the cells will then respond with higher insulin levels, but it sort of creates a feed forward loop, because then the increased adipose tissue can also further reduce the muscle's ability to take up glucose through other signaling that I'm not going to get into here, but that's kind of how that works. So maybe you're asking, all right, great, how do I reverse this? Well, the first thing you want to do and try and find out is if you actually are having problems with this, and you can do that from a very simple test that almost everybody gets. These are liver enzyme tests. Now, they're not always done comprehensively, but these are tests like ALT, AST, GGT, and sometimes just one of these will be high. Sometimes all of them will be high. So you need to look at those and then ask yourself, where are my exposures coming from? If even one of them is high, that could be contributing to your elevated blood sugar levels. And then you need to step back and ask, where could these toxins be coming from? What are the toxins? And that's going to help you narrow down what you should be doing to improve that. And your doctor should be able to work with you to try and narrow that down and eliminate those toxins. If that's not the case, you could take, there's all kinds of different liver support out there. Milk thistle is one of the most, no one will get any side effects from this. I don't think there's any reported side effects ever from milk thistle. So you just need to make sure you're taking a good source of that milk thistle. Digestion is another big topic when we're thinking about natural treatments for diabetes and improving cellular function. The digestive tract can cause the same scenario as the toxins, because your digestive tract can be, in some cases, a source for some of the toxic burden. And how do you know if you have this? Well, this one's a little less straightforward than the scenario for toxins. But if you have digestive symptoms, then that would be a good indicator that you should try and correct that problem. When it comes to toxins from the digestive tract, they're mainly coming from what we call autointoxication, and this is coming from bugs in the digestive tract like bacteria, fungus, some sort of microbial imbalance there that's leading to this increased production of toxins inside your digestive tract that gets into your bloodstream and circulates throughout the body. Now, specifics on what you should do about this and how to approach it is a little too detailed to go into in this one, but just know that it can be really important for some people. And if you're thinking you might have some digestive symptoms, you should dig into that a little bit deeper. But generally, helping your body clean up toxins is a good place to start, and can go a long way to help with improving cellular function. Another thing to think about is inflammation. So any source of inflammation in your body, whatever's causing that inflammation, is limiting your ability to basically deal with the glucose. So your carbohydrates get broken down into smaller and smaller pieces, and then they get shuttled into your mitochondria. So if you're that's where in the mitochondria is where the smaller and smaller carbohydrates or energy sources, sometimes it's fat, sometimes it's carbs, get turned into fuel. And during that process, there's a lot of oxidative stress that occurs. These are free radicals, basically. And so sometimes that inflammation could also be coming from, so we talked about digestion, we talked about toxins. Those two things can certainly cause inflammation, but sometimes it's merely a matter of balancing out your oxidation process or your free radical burden, reducing that by not enough antioxidants. Now, all three of these things are sort of interrelated in the sense that high toxins and high digestive problems tend to lead to depletion of your antioxidant reserves. So all these things kind of go together, but in general, when we're looking for natural treatments for diabetes, these are three of the key areas that we look at. And the supplements and vitamins and things like that sort of correspond to these treatments. So, I mentioned milk thistle. That can also be an antioxidant as well as helping with toxins. And most antioxidants also can help with toxins. But you also need to take into consideration with that antioxidant, how much carbohydrate am I consuming? So if you're getting all your antioxidants from like juice, well, that's just going to add to the burden of carbohydrate in your body. So you need to take that into consideration as well. So a lot of times when people think about natural treatments for diabetes, the first thing they think about is like, what herb can I take or what vitamin can I take? And that's fine. You do a search on the internet and see, X, Y, and Z vitamin is going to, help my diabetes, or somebody tries to sell you X, Y, or Z vitamin. Those are fine, but you should be putting it into the broader context of how is this going to improve my cellular function? What does this say about my cellular function? And then does it stack up? Do my numbers actually improve? If you're not checking your numbers, then that's going to be a lot harder to track. Doing self-testing a glucose monitor is probably a really good idea. If you're introducing new things, changing your diet, highly recommend tracking your blood sugar on a regular basis and watching those trends change over time. If you're not doing that, then if you're checking, for instance, your A1C every 3 months or once a year, twice a year with your doctor, you're going to be very limited in your ability to track that back to that one supplement change you made or that one dietary change you made. These things can change fairly quickly, depending on what you're doing, diet-wise or supplement-wise. They can change, fairly quickly within weeks. Sometimes it does take months, but depending on which test you're looking at, but they can change fairly quickly. So it wouldn't necessarily be dependent on the A1C. You can do your, morning fasting glucose and check those things on your own. So hopefully this video was helpful in helping you understand and think about what natural treatments for diabetes might look like. You should be following your doctor and getting regular blood tests and not just doing these types of things on your own. It can be, very detrimental to your health if you're not getting these numbers checked. But in conjunction with your doctor, you can utilize some of these strategies and hopefully make more sense of which treatments will be most beneficial for you. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.